Your parent company is your corporate office. The real estate investment trust, that's your landlord. Your property management company, and then your holding company. It just holds your assets. Okay, go on, Dwayne. Here's another example for you. Let's say that you sell lemonade on the weekends. You call yourself ABC Lemonade Company. Now, your parent company is called ABC Lemonade Incorporated. Whenever you use that name, ABC Lemonade Company, on the weekends, ABC Lemonade can charge you for using that name. You know how like Chick-fil-A charges you to use the name whenever you buy into Chick-fil-A? Whenever you have to pay McDonald's a naming fee. You see what I'm saying? So your parent company would be charging your operating company a fee for using the name. Your property management company is called Sugar. Why? Because ABC Lemonade uses the address 123 Happy Street. Well, who owns 123 Happy Street? Sugar Property Management. Now, Sugar Property Management places all of its assets into Refresh Holdings, and Refresh Holdings charges them a holding fee. Now, I'm just giving you an example of how a structure would be used, right? Because these are all businesses. They all have different EIN numbers. They're all seen as different people. They all serve a different function, and they're doing what's called business-to-business transactions between one another, right? Let me make it make more sense. Let's just say that you took $1,000 cash money. I don't care where you got it from. I don't care if you got it from gambling. I don't care if you borrowed it from Uncle Jojo. If you got $1,000 cash and you deposited it into the operating company's account, that operating company has $1,000 deposit. It's in the bank. Well, that operating company receives an email 1 week later from the parent company. Why? The parent company says, look, since you're using ABC Lemonade name on the weekend, I'm going to charge you to use that name. How much is the invoice? $1,000. So your operating company paid the invoice of $1,000. So now your parent company has the $1,000. 1 week later, after your parent company receives the $1,000, the parent company receives an invoice from your property management company, the landlord. And the invoice reads, since you're using 123 Happy Street and I own it, I'm charging you rent. So now that $1,000 that you deposited into the operating company that was paid into the parent company, now the parent company pays that $1,000 invoice to the property management company. Then the property management company has the $1,000. Now, all of a sudden, the property management company receives an invoice from the holding company. Why? The holding company say, look, since I got to hold all those assets, run me my money. How much is that? So now the real estate investment trust pays the $1,000 invoice. Now the holding company has the $1,000. But then all of a sudden, the holding company receives an invoice. Now, Dwayne, why would the holding company receive an invoice? Well, ABC Lemonade at the bottom, that operating company, said, hold on, wait a minute. Since I introduced all three of y'all together, I want my finder's fee. How much is the finder's fee? $1,000. So what you have done, you have just shown how each company had $1,000 invoice and they paid out $1,000. Now, before I go any further, because here's what normally comes up after this. Well, Dwayne, how much is the taxes on that? Do you see how you're so conditioned? But it's not your fault on why you're conditioned. Because look what happened. You so used to being an employee, every single time you get a check, taxes are taken out automatically, and you have to live off of what's left. You have been conditioned this way for years. So anytime somebody's talking about business, the first thing that you think about is taxes. But you see, corporations don't work like that. A corporation gets income and they are required to pay their bills first and then pay taxes on what's left. So if your corporation received 1,000 and paid out 1,000, what's the tax on that? Zero. Oh. So if I showed that each company received $1,000 and paid out 1,000, well, Dwayne, make it make sense to me. So for those who are visual learners, let me pull up a calculator for you. So if you got each company getting 1,000, and you invoiced each other 4 times a month, that's $4,000 of income that each company has. Well, if we use the accounts receivables terminology like we've been doing, and we take that $4,000 and multiply that times 12, well, now each company has $48,000 of revenue. And since a payment processing company like Stripe is going to allow you to get a loan and never use your social security number for at least half of what you process, that means that each company can get a loan for $24,000. Now, when we take that $24,000 and we multiply that times 4 companies, you just took $1,000 and now got a $96,000 loan, all because you did business-to-business transactions and you didn't have any tax implications. You're welcome. And do you know why most people will call this money laundering, scam, fraud? Because they don't know no better. Because they still telling themselves, I want to write everything off. You see, let me show you how words have meaning and words have power. You see, on your tax return, you will never find a term that says write-off, but we use that word all the time. The definition of write-off. Now remember, your business is an asset. Assets make you money. Liabilities cost you money. Whenever you use the term write-off for everything, what you are doing is dismissing someone or something that's insignificant. Lord knows that your business is more than insignificant. You're also saying that you are canceling the record of a bad debt. You're also saying you are acknowledging the loss of or failure to recover an asset. But I thought your business was an asset, but you just wrote it off. You know what else you do? When people say, hey, do you identify yourself as a small business owner? You say, yes, that's me. You raise your hand. Do you know that there's only one definition of small? The definition of small. Small is of a size less than normal or usual, insignificant or unimportant. So if I called you insignificant, you would be offended, but yet you label yourself as small every day. Don't let people come in here and tell you that your business is insignificant or unimportant. So the reason why your business will never amount to a size that's normal or usual, but then you're going to have somebody in the comments say, well, the SBA don't give that definition. Do you know that the SBA stands for Small Business Administration? Do you know that whenever you file your taxes as an S Corp, do you know that the S does not stand for subchapter? It stands for small business. Do you see? See, the world was never designed for everybody to be a boss. Because why? If you had the power to control the world, you wouldn't make everybody a boss, because somebody got to be the employee. And the world has always been designed to create more employees than bosses. If you don't believe me, it took you 12 years to graduate high school, 4 years to get a bachelor's degree, and then another 2 years to get a master's. That's letting you know that it takes 18 years to master a particular subject, but yet you felt that you can build your business in 90 days. Stop doing that. And let me tell you what else that the internet internet people are trying to sell you? Internet people are trying to sell you a shelf corp. Well, Dwayne, what is a shelf corp? I'm going to explain to you. See, this is how you become bamboozled. A shelf corporation, also known as an age corporation. I just told you that you don't need to be in business 2 years, but you're going to still believe it. See, a shelf corporation, also known as an age corporation, is a company that has been created but not yet used. Make me understand something. You're going to go spend all your hard-earned money on a company that ain't never been used? How in the goddamn hell are you going to prove the income? Remember, it hadn't been used. And if a bank only cares about one thing, how are you going to repay this loan? Please make me understand how you're going to go buy a business that you don't even have tax returns for. But it gets even better. It gets even better. Do you need a new EIN? The IRS also says that whenever you do this, a business needs a new EIN when the ownership or the structure is changed. So you just went buy a brand new shelf corporation that was sitting on a goddamn shelf, ain't never been used before. You don't have no financials for it. And then all of a sudden, as soon as you bought it, you got to get a new EIN. So that however, it cleans up 2 years old. Do you see how you've been hoodwinked all because of your desperation? Cut it out. You got everybody and their mama sitting on these internet apps trying to encourage you on how to set you financially free. But ain't nobody can even show you results of being financially free. Do you know why? Because there's so many people teaching you how to be successful, but they've been employees all their damn life. Who taught them? You ain't been to one university that taught you how to be a business owner, but everybody telling you you can become a digital marketer. Come on, cut it out, y'all. That ain't meant for everybody. Come on. Y'all got to do better than that. Because why? Here's the actual journey to success. Because let me tell you what you did. I don't even know you, and I can tell you what you did. Let me show you what you did. The first thing that you did was you didn't come up with a plan. You went straight to the Secretary of State at step 3. You went straight to step 3. You registered that business and you got your EIN number, and guess what happens? You didn't even realize the Secretary of State was a public database, so you put your home address in the Secretary of State's database. And then you, as soon as you got that business open, the first thing that ever came to your mind, I need credit. So you went straight to step 5. You went try to get some credit. Now, some of you all were unsuccessful because why? The business creditors are trying to verify the business address, but when they check the Secretary of State, it has your address, so they're confused. Who we talking about? And then for those who, got a little hair on their chest and decided to puff themselves up, I'm going to get me a government contract. You went straight to step 7. When the reality is this is the only way to get to success. Before you accept $1 from a customer, what you should have done was come right back to number 1. Have a plan. What do you want that business to be in the next 3 to 5 years? And that's how you should have started that business, based on where you want it to be, not what you're doing today. As soon as you came up with that plan, you should have went register that business and give that business its own identity first, its own address, phone number, and everything first. So that way, when you register that business at step 3, it had all of the business information in the Secretary of State and not your home information. And then as soon as you registered that business before you went to step 5, you should have gone to step 4. Give that business its own brand, its own website. And for those that don't believe me, let me help you. Facebook is not your company website. Stand Store is not your company website. Linktree is not your company website. If you're using emails like my abclemonade@gmail, do you know that that's not even considered a business email? You are seen as a person. Then after you got that business's own brand, then you should have went to step 5, so that way whenever those creditors started to verify your information, that you took them right to a place that belonged to you. And then after you did that, whenever the financial institutions need your financial statements, you go straight to step 6, because why? You already have a bookkeeping process in place. How you going to talk about you a profitable business, but you don't even have no damn profit and loss statement? And then when you went register that company at sam.gov, you could have gotten the whole contract versus being a subcontractor. And then you protect that business. You make sure that you go get that business some insurance. You make sure that you get that business a trademark and get that business a trust. This is the journey to success. Anything else that you did outside of that is nothing more than operating a hobby. And if I told you that you was operating a hobby, you would get offended. But the truth of the matter is, you've been calling yourself a small business owner this whole time. So what you offended for?
True.
You keep hearing the question, Dwayne, why are you so honest? Why you keep giving all of these people this information? Because here's the thing, I never started this conversation with what's my story, because I didn't want nobody to listen to me based upon what I've been through. I wanted people to listen to me because of what they read for themselves. Because here's what happens when you get in rooms like this. You ready? Let's have an honest conversation. If you don't believe me, let's talk about it. Here's the honest conversation. Most people walked into this room and automatically judged me based upon what I look like, because how in the hell can this man who looks like him know this information? You see, you automatically came in judging me, because who am I to be telling you something that you did that may have been a mistake? So you automatically started judging me, but you don't even know my story. You don't know my qualifications. You don't know even what I've been through. So let me help you. Let me take you down the path of Dwayne Williams Lane. Here's what I did. When I was a young boy at the age of 13, I was molested. I was molested, and I felt like it was going to change my life forever because I was confused. So because I asked myself, why did that happen to me? You know how we do all the time. Every time something bad happens, we always say, why me? But the question really becomes, why not you? Because what I didn't know back then, what I know today, is that that story that I went through as a young kid was going to help somebody. So what I did was I wrote 2 books, right? I became a best-selling author twice internationally. Why? Because I've always said I wanted to help people, because I want to be able to tell people that no matter what you've been through, you ain't ever got to be a product of what you've been through, but where you're going. So ever since then, I always was working jobs. And I felt like I hit a ceiling. I had a track scholarship at UL, and I ran track for 2 years, but then I did what most young black men do. We got happy. I met my kid's mother at the time, and she became pregnant. So I had to drop out of college, and then every single time I was trying to provide for my family, I was always hit with a roadblock. So you know what I went to do? I went back to school. I went get my master's degree, and I said I'd be damned if I be told no. After my master's degree, I went trying to get my PhD. I was a year into my PhD program, and I realized being called Dr. Williams was not going to help the people, because I wanted to be able to help business owners from the ground up. So I left. And then I went work for a consulting firm. I was flying back and forth to Miami for a year and a half. As a matter of fact, my nickname in Miami is called Mr. Miami, because I was always the guy by himself, moving by himself, pushing things by himself. I've made and formed a lot of business relationships by myself, because what I understood is, in order for people to respect me, I had to bring them to the table something that they're not used to. I ain't never asked nobody for nothing. I ain't asked nobody to give me nothing. I paid for everything that I've ever had. And in a year and a half, I was doing some work for Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. If you ever go board a Royal Caribbean Cruise Line ship, they're going to make you download the Royal Caribbean mobile app. Do you know that this little black boy that you're looking at built that app? And Royal Caribbean paid my consulting firm $1.1 million, and my salary was $160,000. And I knew then that it doesn't matter how much I worked, how many hours I worked. I was doing everything to build somebody else's dream while I watched people on Netflix live the life that I wanted to live myself. So I decided to open my own consulting firm, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I've made every mistake. That I did everything right. No, when I first opened my consulting firm, I was an LLC, and every single time that I tried to do something, I hit a roadblock. Back in 2021, I applied for a loan with the SBA, the Small Business Administration, for $1.1 million, and I never got it. And I felt like I was being mistreated because I was a black man. I felt like I was being mistreated because I was an LLC. But the truth of the matter was this: when I got so fed up, I said, guess what? I'm going to write the White House. I'm going to write my senators. I'm going to write everybody, because I felt like the SBA was not giving me the money because of who I am. Y'all approved me for $1.1 million, but you never gave it to me. So why didn't you give it to me? So after me writing the White House, the White House wrote me back in June of 2022, pay attention to the timeline. In June of 2022, the White House wrote me back and said, I'm going to look into your case for you. 2 days later, the SBA and the IRS both called me to talk about my file. We saw that your tax return was submitted, but we can't get the transcripts. Dwayne, why can't they get the transcripts? Well, according to the IRS, pay attention, my taxes were sitting in what's called an unpostable file. Because why? I was an LLC and I filled out that 8832 entity classification form for me to be able to file my taxes as a corporation. And even when I did that, the IRS saw that it was signed for, but it wasn't processed. So because it wasn't processed, I was still seen as an LLC, and I never got that $1.1 million. The SBA said, sir, yes, you do qualify, but I can't give you this money until I have the transcript. The IRS saying, sir, I can see your tax return, but I can't post it to your file. And that was in June of 2022. So I went unlearned everything that I've ever learned about business because I knew I was doing something wrong. And in October of 2022, I took everything that I've ever learned. Pay attention to the timeline. I took everything that I've ever learned and I went put it to the test. That's why I was able to go get this money based on that company that I opened in 2022. But I'm not finished. Hold on. The question becomes, Dwayne, why do you have a holding company on here? Because I understood this based on what I learned. Whenever you go to the Secretary of State of Wyoming, catch it. I'm going to type in a company called 8 Orchids. I'm going to go click 8 Orchids. Pay attention to the timeline. 8 Orchids was opened in December of 2022. You don't understand, boy. Y'all not even understanding. My life changed in 2022. And then whenever you go to the Secretary of State, you go to parties, you're going to see a guy by the name of Andrew Pierce. Dwayne, who is Andrew Pierce? I ain't never met Andrew a day in my life. But if I go into another database and I pull up the same company, what you're going to see now is the public saw Andrew. But when you really go dig behind the scenes, that's me. Why? Because Wyoming is what's called a closed state. It conceals the identity of the people that own it. If I don't show y'all 8 Orchids, y'all will never know it's me. Why am I showing everybody everything about my life? Because I want people to know. If I wanted to come on this goddamn app and scam you, I would do what everybody else do. Tell yourself that they heard and not what they've been through. I'm never going to tell you about what I heard. I share my story so people can understand this comes from a real and raw place, because I'm personally tired of seeing people lack because of perish because of a lack of knowledge. If I walked up to you right now and I called you ignorant, you would be offended. But the definition of ignorance is lacking of knowledge or information. I am tired of seeing people of all shades, of all genders, become so goddamn ignorant that they are allowing people to teach them things that is not designed to push them in a different direction. That's why I come on this app to share this, because I want people to understand that I'm human just like you. I done been through things just like you, and I understood that until I changed my mind, my life would never be different. This is why I do it. Any questions? Happy Labor Day. Yo, what up? Is there a limit of corps? Nope. You can have as many as you want. Thank you. Thank you. Do I offer mentors? Yeah, I offer mentorships. So for those that don't know me, my name is Dwayne Williams. I sit in the CEO chair of Mac Enterprise Consulting. Mac Enterprise Consulting on my website. So I'm going to show you all how you can tap into this stuff. I'm going to show you now. No, that's all me, Macy. I'm going to show you how you can tap into that C Corp. All right? And again, this ain't me selling you nothing. This is me telling you, if you want access to this information, this is how you can get access to the information. Number one, the first thing that you will see on my website is I offer free business assessments, and that's for anybody. When I say a free business assessment, that means that you're going to log on to my website, click this button, and in 3 minutes, it's going to ask you a series of questions, and it's going to spit out your results. 3 minutes, free business assessment. I also offer a free business guide, right? I'm going to pull up my website in just a second. I'm just kind of going through it, right? On one of the other buttons, that's consultations. I offer consultations as well. Dwayne, I want to be able to learn this stuff. I want to be able to learn this stuff. Not a problem. I have what's called a class. I've recorded 6 videos of me teaching. 6 videos. 6 videos that are about an hour and a half long. It's 9 hours worth of content. You can binge watch it. I'm not just giving you books that you can go read. This is 9 hours worth of content, right? Come on. And actually, I have a label that says $350. The first class, it teaches you why that's a journey to success. That map that I pulled up, it teaches you why that's important. I share my screen. I let you see all of the things that you need to see for yourself, right? I teach how to write a business plan. Our bank was able to give us that kind of money. I teach another one on all the structures. I teach how to go get credit. I teach how to go get funding, and I teach you how to build that legacy. I provide you ebooks, but the reason why I recorded the videos, because I know some people are visual learners. You need to hear somebody talking to you and walking you down the steps. This is why I recorded the classes. Because I know that there's not a college for anybody to go. It's on sale. It's Labor Day. Today is the last day of the sale. But the reason why I know that there is nobody right now that can go take a business owner course, what I did was every month I have what's called Momentum membership. It's $20. It's like you're going to night school for $20 a month. $20 a month. And what are you learning in night school? This is where I teach you the things that I don't teach on social media. I teach you how to automate your business. Because I know some people don't have money to go hire employees. Let me show you how to build systems that will help automate your business. We teach you what is SEO. We teach you branding. We teach you how to fix your personal credit. We teach a lot of different things twice a month, every other Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central, right? 7 p.m. Central. And guess what? You ready? I record all of this, so that way you never miss it. Right now, we have about 17 classes recorded. That's another 17 classes, or about an hour and a half long, where you watch, literally, you can, you know what? You can put me on a Netflix series rotation. You can take these classes in series, season 1, right? Because collectively, we have about 18 classes that are about an hour and a half long. Teach you everything that you need to do. And guess what? It's called Business College. For $20 a month. Dwayne, I like what you're doing with this legacy builder. Man, I want to start rotating this money. I want to be able to put myself in position. So I want to rotate the money. I want you to help build this legacy for me. For the people who are interested in doing that, on the services on my website, if you click Legacy Builder, I'm coming, right? What is it I do? I go and I open up all of those businesses for you. Right? Your articles of organization, your corporation, your bylaws, your EIN. I have that on sale for Labor Day too. If you want me to do it where I actually open up a nonprofit organization for you and fill out your 501c3 application, it's $29.99. It's regular $34.99. I took $500 off for Labor Day. If you want the legacy builder and don't want a nonprofit organization, instead of it being $29.99, it's $24.99. But here's the crazy part. You ready? Whenever you purchase the legacy builder, because I know You still need to learn. I would be doing you a disservice if I just opened it and didn't give you the information. When you purchase the Legacy Builder, I'm giving you the masterclass for free. I'm writing you a business plan for free. I'm giving you access to business night school for 1 year for free. And because I'm going to open your holding company in Wyoming where there doesn't have any individual income tax or corporate income tax, I'm going to go ahead and get your holding company a commercial lease agreement so that way you can take advantage of all of those tax benefits for 1 year for free. Because I don't want you to purchase this Legacy Builder and you just be out there on your own. No. I'm going to give you all of these things for free when you purchase the Legacy Builder. Now, let me be honest with you, because I don't want you to be, the holding company is going to be in Wyoming. All the other company, I'm going to open all, your operating company is going to be in the state that you live in. All the other companies are going to be in Wyoming. Now, let me, oh, I'm coming. Now, let me be honest with you. Let me answer this question first, because I love it when people ask me this question about payment plans. Hold on. I love it when people ask me this question, because you know why? The reason why I love it when people ask me this question is because here's what I know to be true. I know I set out to help a lot of people. I set out to help a lot of people. But I want you to see something in real time. I'm on my back end of my website. It's called Wix. And I want you to see something in real time. Because, you know, people always say that they want help, right? Help, help, help. That's what people say. Let me show you what me helping people did. I'm going to where it says this year. I have over $184,000 of outstanding invoices because I've been trying to help people. I put them on payment plans and people just don't do right. There's over 300 people in this room and I swear on everything and look, as much as people have great intentions, guess who's the last person to get theirs? And once I've already opened those businesses for you, I'm just stuck. So I am of the belief we will sacrifice to go to Cancun. We will sacrifice to go take a girl's trip, a guy's trip. We will sacrifice for a lot of things. But if we won't sacrifice to change our life, then all you're doing is playing with me and my time. That's $184,000 that's taken from my kids, from my family, all in the sake of helping. So yeah, I've tried it, and that was just this year. That's why, right? So now, let me also give you all a bit of honesty, and I want y'all to hear me very closely, and I want y'all, and I mean this. Hear me closely. This Legacy Builder is not an overnight thing. It's not. This is a 6 to 9 month process, because Stripe says that you have to be processing payments at least 6 to 9 months before they consider you for funding. So if you thinking that this is going to happen overnight, I am sorry to tell you, I'm not your get rich quick scheme guy. That ain't me. It ain't in me. Because it didn't take you overnight to get you in this financial position that you're in. In fact, I tell people this all the time. Even the dollars and the money that you spend has two sides. But do you know that this $20 bill is the most submissive thing in your life? Money is more submissive than your significant other. Let me tell you why. Because you can take this money right here and set it on your desk. Money will never talk back. Money will not give you attitude. Money will not get angry with you. Money will not have feelings. Money will just sit there until you pick the money up and tell it to go somewhere. So if you find yourself broke, the question that I have is where you told your money to go. Because clearly it didn't go where it needed to go. The first step of you changing your life is taking accountability for why you are in the position that you are in. If you bring me all of your excuses, guess what? They're just like assholes. Everybody got one, and I'm going to tell you to cut the shit. That's my little humor. Y'all, I crack myself up sometimes. Do you set up a trustee and beneficiary? Yeah, I can do trusts for you. I don't make the trust a part of the legacy builder in terms of like that payment, because everybody has a different situation. But I do set up trusts for people if you're interested in a trust. If you click the services website, I do LLC to corp conversions if your state allows it. If you click the services button on my website, just click the word services, just scroll down. You're going to see where it says load more at the bottom. It's a little faint, but even you see where, I can help you with a trust, BOI reports, annual filings, you name it, we can help with it. If somebody said, Dwayne, I don't know where to start, right? I'm going to tell you that the most valuable, everything that I've ever offered, the legacy builder is probably the most valuable thing on my website. And when I say that, because not only do you get 4 companies and you can start rotating the money, but you get all of this other stuff for free. So when we're talking about value, that's it. Oh, website, my bad. Let me pull it up. DR, hey DR, can you convert a nonprofit to a sector business structure if you had? You can. It's gonna take some work, but there's a lot of things that can be done. I'm pulling up the website. I'm sorry. I never pulled it up. Here you go. This is the website. And if you all can, make sure that you all follow me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram. There's about 16 fake channels on TikTok. I only have one channel, y'all. Dwayne _ the Mac. No digits, no nothing. Like, just it. This is it. No. The irrevocable trust is by itself. Sorry if I'm missing some of y'all's questions. I apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see. So you said like irrevocable beneficiary is a holding. No. You would place your holding company in an irrevocable trust, and you would be a trustee of the trust. Every company is a corporation. Yes. If you just go to Core to Black Lion, yes, it can. But if you go to my website under services, click LLC to corp conversion and just see if your state is in the drop down. Each state is its own person. Each state will have its own tax return, bank account, EIN number, and all of that. Can you convert an LLC to a DBA? That doesn't. No. First of all, a DBA is just doing business as. It's just a fictitious name. Most people, whenever you go get a DBA, you just register it at the courthouse. No. DBAs is nothing more than a nickname, yo. That's it. No residential ripple. Just go to y'all, I'm not going to go and just forget. I'm not going down the list of every state, y'all. Just go to my website, go to services, click LLC to corp conversion. Yes, I can definitely help change your corporation, LLC to a corporation. Absolutely. 100%. The whole purpose, so let me go ahead and explain this, and I want everybody to catch this, right? I did not build the legacy builder just for Stripe funding. I want you to understand that. I built this legacy builder so that way you can have different companies. Like I teach people, we don't chase bags. I don't teach people to go chase money. We chase leverage. The reason why I was able to go get funding for the real estate investment trust was because I was able to leverage the other 2 companies. The reason why I set this legacy builder up so that way you can have leverage. And then the other part of that, as you can see, I don't have the nonprofit connected to anything. The reason why I don't have the nonprofit connected to anything, because the nonprofit serves a purpose. Here's the purpose of the nonprofit. Now, again, this is for high earning people. There's a lot of people that have a lot of income. And again, I'm trying to get you out of the phrase writing everything off. What you should be saying is, how do I reduce my tax liability. How do I reduce how much I owe the IRS, right? So one of the ways and one of the strategies is, in most cases, the amount of charitable contributions taxpayers can deduct on a Schedule A, according to the IRS, is limited to about 60%, right? So qualified contributions are not subject to this limitation. Individuals like you may deduct qualified contributions of up to 100% of your adjusted gross income. So what is that basically saying is the IRS says that you can take all of your money and donate it to a qualified organization. Well, Dwayne, what is a qualified organization? A qualified organization is a community chest, a corporation, a trust, or a fund, or a foundation. It's not an LLC. So you can take all of your money and donate it to charity. And I already know the next question. Well, Dwayne, if I donate all of my money to charity, how can I get my money out of the charity? Well, just because you have a nonprofit, that doesn't mean that the business can't operate. My nonprofit hires my consulting firm. My nonprofit hires my tax office. My nonprofit hires my landscaping company. Do you see the point? Yes, favored and chosen. Y'all have to understand that everything is designed for a purpose. Everything is designed for a reason. The reason why I'm recommending that if you have real estate, you go open a real estate investment trust is because of this. What is a REIT? A real estate investment trust is a company that owns, operates, or finances real estate across a range of real estate property. And the reason why I'm saying that is because when you go get real estate underneath a real estate investment trust, a real estate investment trust is required to do certain things, right? So whenever you understand what a real estate investment trust is required to do, you will see that a real estate investment trust is required to pay 90% of their taxable income to shareholders in the form of dividends. What that means is every time that the real estate company makes money, 90% has to go back to the majority shareholder. Well, if the majority shareholder is your holding company that sits in a state like Wyoming, Wyoming doesn't have a corporate income tax. Do you see where I'm going with this? If you aren't worried about being sued at all, do you need to file as anything? I don't care if you didn't make $1. You're supposed to file taxes every year. You've been using Squares that bad? No, Square's just going to report all your money. It doesn't matter what kind of company you have. You can make it work with anything. Don't confuse what you do in the business structure. The structure is just a structure. Yes, there's a form that you file even when you don't make money. I know this is on sale, but I'm going to have to save up to get all it. No, that's fine. The describe not report chaser. Can you ask that again if you don't mind, please? I own my condo free and clear here in Illinois. How do I leverage it? Shit. Go change that title to a real estate investment trust. Oh. Yes. Please and thank you. Go get your title transferred into a real estate investment trust. Please and thank you. You'll thank me later. Go take that title of that condo and go transfer that to the real estate investment trust. Yes, sir. Should you put personal property underneath in your holding company or keep it separate? I would try to do it. It depends on if you have a lien against that property or not. If you don't have a lien on that property, I would definitely place everything under the holding company. I'm with you, King Marcus. Should each company be in a separate C corp? That would be my recommendation. Please, if I rarely get to messages, I'll try to get to them as soon as I can in this DM. If you really want to reach me, I would always tell people go to my website. Seriously, there's a chat button. If you go to my website, my team, I have a team of people that can help, navigate certain things so that way, I'm not delayed in responding. Nay, I'm trying to get to your question, Nay, my bad. Where's your question? Does the real estate have to be paid off to go into a REIT? No, it doesn't, but you have to understand, you have to understand that the bank holds the lien And some contracts that you have, whenever you try to transfer the title, some contracts may make you pay off everything before you can transfer the title. So every situation is different. Like, it's hard for me to, it's hard for me to just give you a blanket statement. Again, the Legacy Builder is on sale for today only. Tomorrow it goes back to regular prices. Again, in Labor Day, this was my way of just saying, one last hoorah. Once we sign up, how long does it start the paperwork? It's typically a 3 to 4 week process. So what's going to happen is, once you sign up for the Legacy Builder, you're going to get an email with it says next steps. Those next steps are you going to fill out a business formation intake form. You're going to fill out a business plan intake form. And once you fill out those intake forms, give us about 3 to 4. Once you fill out the intake forms, give us about 3 to 4 weeks to complete everything. Yes, sir. Or yes, ma'am. Sorry. If you live and file in separate places with a home builder, where do you set it? Typically, if I open a corporation, I would typically open the operating. I'm sorry. Typically, your operating company, I would open your operating company in the state that you're in. And I would do everything else in Wyoming. Again, in the majority of the situations, I am going to take your operating company in the state that you're in, and then everything else is in Wyoming. But again, everything is a little, every situation is different, so we take it as based on what's going on with people's situation. Somebody asked me a question up there. Do I structure my nonprofit as an LLC or corp? When do you recommend purchasing property in the company name? As soon as you're available, as soon as your pockets allow you to do so. I'm always recommending commercial versus residential. And the reason why I would, let me explain it, because I know that came out fast. There are benefits to residential. There are benefits to commercial. Let me explain from a real estate perspective. All right, let me say this again. Most people always try to purchase homes underneath LLCs that's connected to them, or whatever the case is, because a lot of times people are always looking for what's called the FHA loan, where you only have to pay 3.5% down. Let me be very clear when I say this. I understand this is how people aren't really. A lot of people are just they're only viewing it from a money perspective. Whenever you purchase a home underneath FHA, you typically don't bring 20% to the table. While that's cool because you don't have to come out of pocket with a lot of money, I always recommend, if you have the money, go commercial. Why? Because when you go commercial, yes, you have to bring more money to the table, but you put yourself in an equity position so much faster. And whenever you can put yourself in an equity position so much faster, do you know what you just did? You created leverage to where now you don't ever have to come out of pocket again. You can just leverage the commercial property and just keep upping that. Exactly. Thank you, DR. You see what I'm saying? And even if you didn't go commercial, or even if you did residential, I'm always say the more you bring to the table, like DR say, 20% down, like y'all have no idea. Like that equity is worth more than the cash that you bring to the table. Y'all can't even understand. Man, listen. So when you're thinking about generational wealth, you're thinking about the next generation. You're thinking ahead of time. And again, baby steps, right? I get it. If you want to get into real estate, you want to start now. I'm just saying, at least put yourself in position to get to that point. If you want everything set up in your state, then what? You can do that. I wouldn't recommend that because, again, you have to understand there's two reasons why I'm stating Wyoming. Number one, the tax advantages. Number two, because it's a closed state. But yes, if you want everything in your state, you can. It's just, so again, when people ask me questions, you have to understand that I'm thinking about the total business as a whole, not just one lane. Putting it up as to the commercial. Can you say that again, Nikki? What if I want to do Airbnb business using rental properties? How do I register the business LLC? I would, again, Tosh, don't, and I want everybody, again, and this is not just for Tasha. I know it's easy for us to think that, well, what if I have this business? Do I structure it as this? You got to remember, the structure is nothing more than a person. A corporation is a person, y'all. It's a person. You're starting a business to be separated from you. I don't care if you walk dogs on the weekend. I don't care if you bake cookies. The structure is how you're treated. What you do is what your customers see. I hope that helped. If I have an LLC that I've not used in 10 years, is it still active, we the people? If it's active, converted. If it's not, yeah, I would just start over. A C Corp price, there is no big price difference between an LLC and a corporation, y'all. It's just structure. So holding company is trustee and irrevocable. Yes, but Kate, yes, I'm gonna just leave it at that. Yes. Do you help with websites too? Yes, I actually work with Penn Business Solutions. Penn Business Solutions is who does all of my websites. I'm gonna pull up his website. Does all of my websites. He has a really good deal right now where he can actually get you started with just $150 a month. If you click websites on his thing, he'll do a complete web design for you for free. Listen right here. How does a free website design? $150 a month. And he'll get you a whole website for 12 months. In Business Solutions. Can I build websites? I can. But again, this is his lane. Like he does this all the time. PEN Business Solutions. No, that's not true, King. Hey, Lavon, what's up? So again, remember, two things, and I'm not going to keep you all too long. Thank you. First of all, let me go ahead and say this. Thank you to everybody who took time out of their day to listen. You could have been doing anything in the world. So I do appreciate you all listening. A lot of time, PEN Business Solutions, PEN Business Solutions. A lot of times, what you hear is passion. Is because I really want people to just do their due diligence, right? Yes, Amy. So I do appreciate everybody for doing it, and I want people to understand that there are a lot of great people in the world, and a lot of great people with a lot of great intentions. Sometimes people just don't have all of the context. So if I tell you that, hey, at least start with learning, just learn, right? There's so many ways that I can help you. I just want you to know that you have to get out of your own way. You have to get out of your own way. That's it. Thank y'all. I'm going to say this, and again, it doesn't matter if you're spiritual, it doesn't matter if you believe in God, don't believe in God. I'm going to say this as a generalized statement. Oftentimes we call things coincidences. Oftentimes we say happenstance or whatever the case is. All I know is we can't see tomorrow. And when certain things happen in our life, sometimes, although it might happen for us or to us, even by you picking up your phone and you weren't even supposed to pick up your phone, I don't think that there are mistakes being made. Whenever you come across information, it's always about what do you do next. Once you have come into information, you have to remember you have been your natural habits have gotten you into the place that you're in today. Your natural habits are going to continue to do the same thing. Like, for instance, as soon as we get off of this live, your natural habits are going to do what you normally been doing for the past couple weeks. These are the moments you have to push past what your natural habit will do. Because your natural habit isn't thinking like a CEO. You see what I'm saying? You have to truly change the way that you think. And as much as you are excited to go share this with everybody that you know, just remember, most people may not be ready for this information, because this requires you to unlearn everything that you've ever learned. This is going to require you to be lonely. Dwayne, what do you mean be lonely? Because everybody ain't going to understand. Everybody ain't going to understand. And a lot of times you're going to think that if you share stuff with people that they hating on you. No, they're not hating on you. They just can't comprehend what you're telling them. No matter how much you try to explain to a child will never understand. So don't waste your time trying to get people who just simply can't comprehend. I showed you with your own eyes what an LLC is and isn't. Okay. Anywho, listen, y'all. Thank y'all for your time.